afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the On Pattison podcast with Mike Missinelli. Actually, this podcast has many names. You can call it the Mike Missinelli podcast with Anthony Sanfilippo. You can call it the On Pattison podcast with Anthony Sanfilippo and Mike Missinelli. As long as you call us, we're good with it. Anthony,
what about the Pattison Paisans? Somebody suggested that on Twitter.
Paisans, whatever. Pushers, whatever name you want to call us. We're on the air from 2 o'clock on Thursdays, talking about the week of sports and what's going on. So let's start out with what I like to do with the current events of the week. Of course, the Eagles go to 7-2 with a gut-punching 10-7 victory over the Green Bay Packers. We're going to look back at that game and see how it could have been made a little easier and what it means for the future. That's a pretty good team they beat, so I'm okay with that. You got the Sixers, another big win against Boston. Embiid not in the game. He has right knee soreness.
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
It's not the left knee that's all banged up. It's the right knee, which he's usually had problems with as well. A lot of people forget that both knees have been problematic. But now he doesn't. I love this. He doesn't have structural damage.
Yeah.
I love when they say he has no structural damage. I don't know what that means. That means he can play? No. Doesn't mean he can play. It means he's going to nurse this injury again. And they wound up winning without him. A gutty win for the Sixers. It got some good play off the bench from a couple of guys. And then they play at the Pistons on Friday. So before we get to our other current events, how are you feeling about Embiid's knee, Ant?
Well, would you say the difference between structural damage and just soreness? I guess that the only thing that you can say there is no surgery is going to be required, right? That's the only thing that you could actually take out of that. Otherwise, it's like, here we go again. Like, he's going to miss a game, 2 games, play one, miss one. I mean, that inconsistency is in the lineup, out of the lineup, doesn't help the team because you're not going to get them to gel. You're not going to get them to and figure out. We talked about this last week, Mike. How are you going to play with him in the lineup versus when he's on the bench? They don't get to figure that part out, and that's the part that's frustrating.
Here's the thing about this. As you know, I have Embiid fatigue. Like, news like this just rolls off my back anymore. I don't even react to it. But it's clear to me that his knees are shot, both of them. And the only way you fix knees that are shot is you get them replaced. Now, replacement surgery is very in vogue. I've had a half of one, and I'm actually going in for another one. After I had a half of one, I performed anything that I wanted normally. I could run. I could. Now, I have yet to hear a knee surgeon say that if you get a double knee replacement, are you then done for the rest of your career, or could you actually play with a knee replacement? I need a doctor. I need a doctor. Anybody listening who's a doctor out there, we have comments. Yeah, and I'd love to hear your comments on that. It is so prevalent anymore, these replacements, and it makes your knee so much stronger that I wonder if a knee replacement would sustain the rigors of an NBA up and down the floor season.
I can't imagine that it would, because you're talking about guys playing at the highest level. You're talking about being an elite athlete. Does it make it for us older guys easier to walk around? Yes.
Yes. Well, I can tell you, I'm still playing in a baseball league. I'm still rounding the bases. I'm still diving for balls. I haven't had one problem with the knee replacement. And I started to think, I wonder, like, it's never been brought up.
Yeah.
Like a knee replacement, a bad knee. He's got degenerative knees. They're never going to get any better. The only way you're ever going to improve that situation where you can have a normal life is to have a knee replacement. And I wonder, if you have a knee replacement, could you still be able to play the minutes that he's playing now?
That's a great question. I'm still going to side with no, but maybe there's a doctor out there that says, yeah, we're getting to that point medically. Maybe the medical technology is there to the advancements in medicine are there to make it happen. I mean, think back to, pitchers with elbow injuries before Tommy John, right? Like that was ending careers. And now you're able to come back after a year or so and play.
This is a titanium insert. It doesn't get any stronger than titanium. right? Titanium is stronger than bone. And what happens is that the ligaments form and they join around it just like it's bone.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm talking out of my rear end here, but I'm just wondering. This situation is never going to get any better. So the only thing that can make it better is something drastic like that. You can't shoot it with PMP or whatever that procedure is, where you get blood platelets, but it's not going to get better for the guy. He's got degenerative knees. That's different than having injured knees.
No, it's not going to get better for him. Whether he says he's healthy or not, whether he's playing through pain or not, it's not going to get better because he's getting older. That's just the nature of it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even if he was, in his best peak condition, with each passing year, the body breaks down just a little bit more. So it's never going to get better.
The body doesn't get any thinner. He's not getting thinner.
Right.
It's funny. I see all these offensive linemen in the NFL when they retire. My God, they get thin. And I'm going, what do they do that Joel's not doing?
Yeah, it's a good. Well,
like Joel, get down at 250. Look like Jason Kelsey or something. I don't know. Whatever you have to do. All right, let's move on for more current. The Flyers, they lose at home to the Oilers in overtime, 2-1.
Brutal.
A peppy game there, Anthony. And they play Friday at the Blues. What do you have to say about that one?
Yeah, that's a game that they should have had 2 points and only got the 1 in overtime.
That's the all-important one, though. The all-important point.
Yeah, you have to cherish that point, like Bill Barber used to say.
Yeah.
No, it's they had the game won in regulation. Travis Konechny scored a goal, and Owen Tippett was stupidly offsides. And when I say stupidly offsides, it's not like they were skating into the zone and he just happened to beat the play in. He was standing sideways on the blue line, waiting for the puck to enter the zone, and just went early. It was dumb. It's a mistake that can't happen. The one thing I'll say for them that is a positive that people should take out of it, they may have found a number one goalie in Dan Vladar that nobody expected. I mean, here's a guy who's been a journeyman backup for his NHL career. He comes in here, and through the first 16 games of the season, he's been really good. He was superb last night.
Anthony.
We've been here before, Michael.
Are you lighting a cigar before the cigar's out of the humidor here?
I'm just saying, it's worth watching. I think it'll be important to see how he does handling a larger
How many times
workload.
have we seen a Flyer goalie get hot and then we say, well, we finally found a guy? How many times has that happened?
I stay, and as Larry Fursetto says, standing on his head. We've heard that before, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going too far. I'm not going overboard saying that this guy's going to carry you through to the Stanley Cup or anything like that. All he has to be, Mike, that's all I have to say. In today's game of hockey, all you have to be is a decent goalie who keeps your team in the game, and you're a playoff team. That's all he got to be. He doesn't have to be an all-star.
He doesn't have to stand on his head?
No.
I don't know. Sometimes
he has to be the equivalent of Jalen Hurts as a quarterback.
Yeah,
as a goalie.
So. Is this team good enough for a goalie to be a game manager and get him in the playoffs?
To make the playoffs? Yes.
Yeah, you do think they're good enough?
Yeah.
Without a significant achievement from the goalie.
Yes, he just has to be a good game man. You keep your team in the game. You giving up between 2 and 3 goals a game. You have a shot to make you have a good shot at making the playoffs.
All right, let's continue on with the news. Jair Alexander. Boy, Jair, we hardly knew ye. He comes in for a day, and he's gone. He retires. What in the hell is that about?
Yeah, we talked about this last week, Mike, that we were kind of perplexed by the trade, right? Like, it was like, well, what are you going and getting this guy from the Ravens for? Because he couldn't even get on the field for them, and when he did, he was god-awful. Like, why is that an upgrade? What's the purpose of that? Other than thinking that maybe you can find something that nobody else couldn't. I mean, the Packers gave up on him too. Like, I don't know. It didn't make any sense. And I don't know. He says mental health too. Maybe he's one of those guys, Mike, who just is a touch behind what he used to be and doesn't think he can get back to that level. and maybe the Eagles think they can
listen,
work
I'm
him and
sure
get him
he's
there.
got some mental health issues over his career ending and the whole bit, and I
Yeah.
don't cast aspersions on anybody who
Right.
does that. But I wonder, like the reports that the NFL gets, they're pretty sophisticated reports, and I got to think that they heard from at least one or two people within the Baltimore organization that yeah, and they did it anyway. And so I like it's not due diligent enough for the Eagles to make a mistake like that.
And I'm sure that they're not connected, but this is the second guy that they've acquired this year who's retired on them.
Yeah. And
right?
they're not counting on the fact that these guys really don't want to play anymore. They're done.
Yeah.
And that's where somewhere along the line you got to read the tea leaves. Like, why would those players be available for such a cheap price?
Yeah.
We're not going to be fools by taking them. And as it turned out, they're kind of foolish now by taking them.
Yeah. I mean, you had Darius Smith, and now you have this. I mean, I don't know. One guy, you go, okay. Two guys, it's like, are you doing enough homework here?
All right. What else is going on? Then we'll get into some meaty subjects here. Let's look at the winter meetings for Major League Baseball. All the freeloading reporters who get all that free stuff out there in Vegas, they get a trip in the warm weather. It's beautiful to be a baseball writer is the hardest. Being a beat writer is the hardest thing to do in sports media. But occasionally you get a bone, and you go to Vegas and you hang out there and you hang around the lobbies and you talk to Jimmy and Joe and you try to get a tidbit. And they're now back. So what does the smoke? Once the smoke cleared, what do we have here? Is there a Phil's trade to be made there?
I don't think there is. Although Scott Lauber in the Inquirer did suggest one that was at least worth talking about. I don't think it's going to happen, but he made the suggestion that could they possibly trade one bad contract for another bad contract with the St. Louis Cardinals, and in some way go Nick Castellanos for Nolan Arenado. I don't know. That's an interesting thing to think about, but I mean, Arenado has as great a defensive third baseman as he still is and has been for his entire career. And he was a dude when he was with the Rockies. I mean, he was legit. But the last 3 seasons, he has tailed off considerably. And I don't know if you want to make a commitment to that. Is that even an upgrade over Alec Bohm at third? Defensively, it is, but is it an offensive upgrade over Alec Bohm at third? I'm not sure that it is. So,
it still complicates your outfield situation too. So, I don't know. We'll continue to follow that. So that's what's going on, and we'll talk more about the baseball meetings in a little bit. Because
by the way, Mike, just so you know, in about a month, they have their winter meetings, which is the big one, right? That's the one where all the signings start happening and trades start happening. And that's in Orlando, Florida.
Oh.
I'll be there.
Oh, of course. Why wouldn't you be there? It's Orlando, Florida.
I'll be at that one.
The mini bar's on Pattison. Might as well hit
it. So anyway, just so you know, it is a good break every once in a while. That and spring training.
All right. So let's now get to the main part of what happened currently this week. And it is A.J. Brown. More controversy. So let's kick off the show with our first topic, A.J. Brown. And there are 2 questions here before we get into the crux of what he said. One is it not time, and I know you believe on this, is it not time for the Eagles to get aggressive towards him at this point instead of being so passive and allowing him to just go off whenever he wants to go off? And the second question I have is, why is the questioning on this issue from the people who cover the Eagles so soft? I don't understand it. So first, let's get into what A.J. Brown actually had to say. You're going to have to give me a primer on this because I'm not a Twitch streamer.
Oh, you think I am?
Rondo played a game of Madden NFL 26 on a live stream against a player station user named I'm Open 11, who was reportedly Brown, and asked him over an in-game chat if everything was going well. Here's the question by the streamer. Everything been good, though? Everything been straight? Mental? Good? Kids good? A.J. Brown, the supposed subject. I mean, no. Where have you been? Family good? Yeah. Everything else? No. It's been a shit show. If you got me on fantasy, man, get rid of me. And then he continued, where he says, if you got eyes, you can see that regarding things not going well. It's the same things I've been saying all season. So me making light of my situation on Twitch with my friend, that's something I'm not going to apologize for because, like I said, you guys have eyes and you can see it. So that was the comment that he gave to the Philadelphia media when asked about it. He went on to say, after the game, I said all my right answers and y'all still made a story. In that moment where I'm just talking to my friend, having fun with my friend, I'm not apologizing for that. It's not that I was throwing anybody under the bus. I'm literally trying to laugh through this shit. This shit is tough, but I'm trying to make fun of the situation to try to get through it. That's what it is, man. Well, a lot to unpack there, so I'll let you start unpacking.
Well, so here's the thing, Mike, and the Eagles are enabling this in my mind, right? They are. At some point, if you're his employer, you're paying him this ungodly amount of money to be one of the top wide receivers in the NFL. At some point, you got to sit down and say, enough. That's it. You don't say anything publicly like this anymore. Otherwise, there's going to be something punitive. You just have to say it. And maybe they have and he's ignored it, then you have to say it publicly. You have to beat him at his own game. And the fact that they're not doing anything about it, and the fact that Nick Sirianni's still going on the radio and saying, oh, AJ's all in. I don't want to speculate about what he's talking about. Stop.
All right, here's the counterpoint to that.
Oh.
If you do that to a player in this day and age, you've lost them. And you need him.
Okay. But do they? Do they need him?
Well,
you're not using him now.
Of course they need him. I mean, they're not targeting him. I get it, but certainly they need him. Let's hear what AJ had to say about this, discussing the comments. I paraphrased it. Let's hear the actual quote from AJ.
My situation. I mean, guys, like, obviously I want to win too, and I think if we're really focusing on winning and doing our job, like, we can't just keep slapping the Band-Aid over the defense doing their job and getting us out of trouble. Like, at what point are we going to pick up our slack as an offense that we're so great, and that's what I'm getting at. It's not about we're not winning or I don't care about winning. All I care about is stats. No, it's been week after week sometimes we're not contributing, we're not doing our job on offense. So you can't just keep slapping the Band-Aid over that and you expect to win late in the year and you think you're going to go to it at the end of the year. It's not going to happen. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And last year, what it was, thank you for the ring, but it's a new season. They adapted, we have to adapt, and we have to continue to, get better and try to find new ways. So that's where the frustration comes in, because it's not about winning, you guys. I want to win, yes. I want to help contribute as well. Do our thing on offense as well. I think that's fair.
Go ahead. Do you feel like you're misunderstood in that?
I don't care if I'm misunderstood. I stand up in front of it and fall on that sword over and over again. It's about doing what we're supposed to be doing on offense. And if we are really in this business, we're trying to get better, we got to do what we got to do.
All right, that wasn't exactly, he wasn't talking about that Twitch stream broadcast on that one. I don't know. Do we have that, Matt Miro, where he's talking about the actual Twitch stream? Here comes Matt. Matt's going to pop in here.
The cut does go on if you want to keep playing it, Mike. I think he does
go on. He talks about it.
He does, yes.
All right. Let's just have a discussion on what was just said. Yeah. He wants to win. They're winning. It's one thing if they were losing and he was not getting the football, and that was contributing to them not winning. They are winning the games, and Devontae Smith is having a good year. You would think he'd be happy for his teammate, Devontae Smith. I don't know why he's not getting the ball. I'm on the record, Anthony. You heard me last week.
Yep.
When you got a diva like that, you get him the ball. We got Brian Westbrook on the post-game show the other day. He said the same thing. He brought up T.O. These guys, you lose them. When you don't get them involved, you lose them. And when you lose them, you lose a little bit of part of your team. So as I don't know, hinky as it is, you have to feed a guy like he's a baby, a Gerber baby food with a spoon, with crushed plums. Sometimes you got to do that. Do you not? And he's only getting targeted 3 times a game. Now, would I like a receiver to shut the hell up? You're damn right I would, because they're winning games. But this is not that kind of character that's going to shut up. So you either do what you said, which I don't think helps at all, which is to put him under the gauntlet and say, dude, behave or else, because that's the type of guy that will go south like T.O.
And as Larry says, like, I'm afraid this is going to end with AJ in his driveway lifting weights. But
you know what I'm saying? These guys are a different breed, these receivers.
They are. And I do side partially with AJ Brown, because I do think that you're right and he's right, that they got to figure something out. There's something not right with this offense. And we have another comment from at Saturday Again, says, I'm with all truth tellers. AJ sees the difference between this year and last year, but can't throw Patullo under the bus by name. I'm not 100% sure that this is about the coordinator. I kind of think that his complaint, as it has been since 2023, is with the quarterback. And I think it's not that he doesn't think that Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback. I think that he thinks Jalen Hurts is too conservative of a quarterback. And what I mean by that is, what is A.J. Brown's greatest ability as a receiver? He's not a speed guy. He's not running past corners, right?
Using his body, getting leverage.
And going up and getting a ball, right?
Yes.
So he wants the 50-50 throws thrown his way because he feels, I'm going to outwork the other guy and get that ball. And Jalen is so adverse to turning the ball over that he doesn't want to throw a 50-50 ball. He only wants to throw it when his guy is open. And I think that's why you're seeing AJ be upset at the fact that he's not getting the throws.
All right. I got that. And it seems so fundamental to get him a certain type of pattern, that slant pattern. When you put a guy in motion away from where AJ is, the guy's got to flow. That maybe you get single coverage, that slant, it's impossible to stop. I don't understand why Patullo doesn't go to that many times a game. I've said that until I'm blue in the face. I can't say it anymore. I don't get that whole thing. But the other part of this is, you got to beef. Get to the guys. Get to the offensive coordinator. Get to the head coach. Say, listen, coach, I'm really frustrated. When he does this thing with the media, it puts everybody else. It makes them uneasy.
Yeah.
It just makes a team uneasy when you got a guy that's chirping off like that. You don't know what to say to the guy. You don't know how to walk around him in the clubhouse. And this is supposed to be a together team.
Yeah, look, I think this is one of those two things can be true at the same time. And I think that what AJ is saying is accurate, but the way he's presenting it is not good for the team in general, because it becomes a distraction. And that's why I think that the solution is, maybe it's a combination of things, Mike. Maybe it's, we're going to address what you're talking about, AJ. We think that we've heard you. You've made your point clear, and we're going to address that, and we're going to
please don't say anything more.
But shut the hell up. But shut the hell up.
And if you don't, and so where he goes, oh yeah, suppose I don't shut up.
But then
what do you say?
Fine, we're going to fine you.
Oh, we're going to fine you. We're going to suspend you. Yeah, you want to do that? You want to see how I play? I'll read a damn book on the sidelines the whole game.
Would be great for us.
I'll eat Haribo, those gummy bears
yes.
on the sideline, and I won't go in next series.
It'd be great for us.
You're playing with dynamite here. That's the point.
Yeah,
so
but
I'm going to say this is more, obviously, I'd be an idiot to say it's not AJ's fault for chirping, but it's also the Eagles' fault for just give the guy a pacifier. For crying out loud, is it that hard to give a guy a pacifier when he needs one?
So let me play devil's advocate for you here just for a second.
Go ahead.
So let's imagine that they do what they're doing, keep handling it the way they've been handling it, right? But over the course of the next couple of weeks, they start to lose some more games. Let's say they lose to the Lions, offense looks bad. They go down to Dallas, lose to the Cowboys, offense doesn't look good. Who's at fault at that point? Right? Are we still blaming AJ? Or are we blaming the?
No, we're not blaming AJ. We love to blame head coaches and offensive coordinators.
Right.
We love it.
Yeah.
He's going to escape that criticism because now people are going to say, "You see, he's right."
Yeah.
They're running the risk of having his chirping be right because
Correct.
they don't get him the football.
Correct.
So
Correct.
they're going to turn on Sirianni. They're going to turn on the offensive coordinator, Patullo.
So it's up to the Eagles to fix it.
Of course it is. But you
Yes.
don't fix it by saying, shut the hell up.
Well, no, it's got to be both. I think you got to give him the ball, too.
I don't think you can shut the hell up them.
Okay.
That's old school, and you're going way back to the 60s.
The 60s.
All right, I got to rant here because Nick Sirianni's been asked about this thing.
Yeah.
So, all right, how many people cover the Eagles?
Probably what? Well, outlets, probably like 12, 13 outlets.
All right, so
outlets.
there's probably 30 people there covering them.
Yeah.
Reporters today have a tough job because the teams hold them they hold them under their thumb for the most
Yes.
part. I get it, but what happens to the back and forth that I used to hear, even when Andy Reid was here, you had a little bit back and forth on this whole situation. So when Sirianni is obviously asked about the A.J. Brown situation, here's what he said.
Kind of business as usual with AJ. I mean, his latest comments.
There he is. There's
made
Nick.
it seem like it's not business as usual. Like, how do you kind of reconcile that with him?
Yeah, guys, I'm close to being done answering these questions with this. Like, he's working hard, and he is a big part of this game plan, and it'll be a big part of the game plan going forward. And he's working like crazy when he's here, and I'm excited to have him.
All right. You cannot, as a reporter, let him get away with an answer like that because he didn't even touch on the issue. The issue is you have a disgruntled player, and as a reporter, a follow-up question is, wait a minute, Nick, hold on a second. This could really be causing a rift. This is not happening. It's happened more than once now. He is obviously not happy with the situation. How do you plan to placate him? There's got to be some more of a back and forth discussion. I'm sickened when I don't hear that back and forth, and he gets away with a lame answer like that.
I'm with you. I'm with you 100% on this. I told you I'm not all in on this guy and have not been. I know he's won a Super Bowl. He probably has to win another one to finally get me on board. But I just don't like the way he handles things. I think that there's a better way to be a leader of men.
He needs to be pressed on in that situation. He gave an answer he thought people were going to run and go away, and they did. They ran and they went away. The question has to be, hold on, Nick. Nick, do you not agree that this kind of a situation may be causing a rancor in the ranks of your football team, and you proceed on from there?
Yeah, from what I understand, Mike, because I don't want the clip to just stand alone. And the reason I'm saying that is because we're going to talk about another big issue later on that has to do with just the way a clip stood on its own. Apparently, there were several other questions about AJ prior to that one. That would just happen to be the last one.
Okay.
And so I think that it was just like, all right, I've said all I can say. I'm not going to say anything more. So I don't know if the questions were pointed as yours was. Maybe they may be pandied around it a little bit. It's very possible. But the reality of it is that he's not going to say anything. They asked him this on the radio as well, and he gave a very similar answer. Like it was a non-answer.
When guys give you a similar answer, then you got to keep going to try to get a different answer. That's my whole problem with the journalism today. There's so many people asking questions that they give up, and then somebody yells a question, and you lose the focus on it. He can't be allowed to just let that hang out there. A.J. Brown has made it a big controversy in this city. Not 1 week, not 2 weeks, about 3 weeks now. This has been going on. So you got to get to the bottom of how is this affecting the team? Are there any plans for the team to sanction them? Do you care about sanctioning them? Do you think if you don't sanction them, it'll just go away? There's 100 different follow-up questions in there.
Yeah, and so, Mike, here's what this is my take on things, just as somebody who's down there for at least for two teams. And you're right, it's a very controlled environment anymore. It's not like it used to be where you just got to talk to guys one-on-one all the time or in a very small group. It's all press conferences. There's always cameras. Everything's documented forever and ever. Like you can't have those private conversations you used to have to get the real crux of what's going on. And that's why I hate press conferences in general. So it's a little bit harder in the way it's structured today for journalists to be pressing on those things. That doesn't mean it can't be done. It still can. It just can't be done necessarily in that setting.
Listen. Here's a typical example of a fan who enables it, who enables this type of non-coverage. Mark Top Dog Melise. Why keep digging? Let it go. Why keep digging? Let it go. It's a journalist's role not to keep digging. That's what a journalist's role is, to get you some information. Did you understand what this wide receiver said today? He says he has absolutely no problem saying what he had to say.
Yeah.
It's nothing. Making light of my situation on Twitch with my friend, that's not something I'm apologizing for. Because like I said, if you have eyes, you can see that. After the game, I said all the right answers. You still made a story. In a moment where I'm just talking to my friend, having fun with my friend, you're not having fun with your friend. You're taking a passive-aggressive shot at your organization.
Yeah, having fun with your friend would be like a private phone call. You're on a Twitch stream where
you're taking a
thousands
point
of
to
people
put out publicly. And somebody said, well, why keep digging? Let it go?
Yeah.
I'm asking Sirianni the questions. Remember, AJ's already answered the questions. He's already had to say what he had to say. I'm asking the head coach how he feels about he's got a renegade player on his hands right now. How do you plan to deal with it? Because it affects the whole organization and the whole team's success. That's why we asked the question, Mr. Top Dog.
Yeah. So here's another one, Mike, and this is a good question for you. Since you've already given what you would say to Nick Sirianni, if you had one question for AJ, what are you asking him? This is from Life is Dope 95.
Wait, what question I'm asking AJ?
Yeah.
The question I'm asking AJ is, AJ, you seem to be winning football games. Does it matter that you're winning football games and you've become not a major part of it? Or do you have to be a major part of it for you to get satisfaction to win a football game?
It's a good question. It's a good question.
What can he possibly say? Well, yeah, I want to get mine. And if he answers it that way, you got a monster story.
Right. That's good. It's a good point. It is an easy question.
All right, let's just take a look back before our first commercial break.
Yeah.
Let's take a look back at what the Eagles did last week, and of course at the end of the game. And I wanted to get your opinion on it because I've already had my Eagles post game show. My opinion on the 4th and 6th, and then they go to AJ for a jump ball, trying to get him the ball in that situation. 4th and 6, the analytics say that if you punt the ball there, you have a 98% of winning. If you don't punt the ball there, it drops to 93%. Why did he go against the analytics there?
Arrogance. One word sums it up. Like because we can.
Okay.
But
let's be fair. They've done stuff like that before where they clinched the game and everybody said, boy, look at the balls on that guy.
Yeah, but on 4th and 6, I'm not sure he's ever done it on 4th and 6 at the end of a game when you're trying to milk the game.
How about this on 4th and 6? How about a better freaking pass pattern?
No,
how about get the tight end involved? How about you get AJ on a slant instead of the ball they threw to him?
Mike, you've held the Green Bay Packers to 7 points for the entirety of this game. The Packers' offense was terrible.
Okay.
You punt the ball and say go 60 yards in 20 seconds. Good luck. You have no timeouts. You got to go
punt the ball. Where's the ball end up?
Well, you're hoping that
you punt the ball from the 45. Where's the ball end up?
You're hoping you're kicking it out of bounds.
Out of bounds. So they get it at the 20.
Well, no, but if you go out of bounds before the goal line, it's wherever it goes out of bounds. Right? So it only has to go through the end zone to get to 20.
You want to pooch it to the angle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You want to trust your punter to pooch it to the angle.
Yes. And then say that you haven't been able to do anything against our defense other than one little drive that you had in the 4th quarter. That's it. Done. Go ahead and try and go down the field. If you do, good on you. And you're only going to tie the game. You're not going for a touchdown. You're not at risk of losing the game on that drive. And I'll tell you something else, Mike, because I don't think anybody's talked about this enough. The drive before that, right? When they gave the Packers and now Packers turn it over, a good defensive play by the Eagles. It was Blankenship, right? They knocked the ball out. why are you throwing on second and third down and not forcing them to burn their timeouts and milk the clock?
Two misguided throws.
Like, what the hell are you calling there? That doesn't make any sense
What's
either.
funny about that is they do that, and then on the final drive, they run 3 nondescript running plays and set up that 4th and 6.
Yes.
Yeah, Patullo sometimes confuses me. He really does. I don't know. It seems to be an easier way that they could have called that game in the end. However, they won. And here's the thing, Anthony. This is a 7-2 team.
Yep.
They're number 1 in the power rankings, and yet people in this town are still skittish about them. I want to talk about that on the other side. Let's take our first commercial break. This is the On Pattison podcast with Mike Missinelli and Anthony Sanfilippo, and we're back after this.
Hi, it's Pete from Chicky and Pete's. Warm up this fall with an incredible seafood boil. Try the Uncle George with succulent snow crabs, tasty mussels, and shrimp. There's the Pete's Feast with 2 pounds of sweet succulent crab legs, a dozen shrimp, clams, and a pound of mussels. Or create your own boil. Add a lobster tail or a delicious Dungeness cluster. Include smoked sausage, corn, and potatoes, served in our tasty broth, made with white wine and our signature seasonings. A shellfish lover's dream at Chickies and Pete's.
Are you living with relentless pain? St. Mary has a new way to help. Knee and hip replacements with a smarter process for faster recovery, earning prestigious awards for quality and value. A rapid recovery program has you walking just hours after surgery, and breakthrough advances, such as custom-fit joints, position you for a longer pain-free life. 215-710-5888. St. Mary Orthopedics. It's your health. Expect more.
Your day-to-day life is hectic between having to pick up the kids, make dinner, the countless other tasks that you got to get done. Rob's Automotive and Collision is there to make your life a whole lot easier. Make sure you take advantage of their spacious waiting rooms, the large flat-screen TVs, complimentary coffee and muffins, and free Wi-Fi. So even when you do have to stop, Rob's is there to make you feel right at home. Give Rob's a call today at 215-826-9200 for any of your auto repair needs. The Peruzzi Automotive Group on Business Route 1 in Fairless Hills is looking for auto techs, all skill levels. Here's a chance to work for a locally owned family business that offers many benefits. For more information, call the service director, John Damarotis, at 215-943-6200. That's 215-943-6200, or visit any Peruzzi service department.
All right, we're back on the On Pattison podcast with Mike Missinelli, Anthony Sanfilippo with me as well. Okay, let's look at this team where I go, people just, if they don't have a complaint about this team, it doesn't make their day. They're lost. You have to have a complaint about the Philadelphia Eagles. You have to be dissatisfied. They're 7-2. They're atop the power rankings in most every power ranking that's out there. There's a couple teams breathing down their neck. I get it. This is a good, solid team that's not perfect. No team in the NFL is perfect. There's not a perfect team in the NFL. These teams lose like I've never seen. The Buffalo Bills losing the games they lose. The Chiefs losing the games they lose. The Ravens, the way they started the season. All these so-called good teams fall apart sometimes, depending on whether you're coached enough and whether you're emotionally ready to play. So what is it about this town that Philadelphia Eagle fans, I'm going to give you an example. Steve Hartman here in our chat. How can a team that's won 22 of its last 25 games have so many question marks? The offense has never found true consistency. It's either hot or cold. They're 7-2. The NFC champ and the Super Bowl gave everyone the impression that this offense could evolve into a legitimate passing powerhouse. But now we've reverted to a more conservative approach. Why? Because they have a running back who was, considered the best in the league. And they're taking heat off the quarterback, who's not exactly a top 5 quarterback. Let's face it. What Jalen Hurts is a nice quarterback. He's not an elite top 5 quarterback. Steve goes on. Are the Eagles choosing to hold Jalen back, or is he simply proving to be an average quarterback? I just opened that box right for you, Ant. Climb right in.
Well, I think that you're right. Jalen Hurts is not an elite quarterback, but I also don't think he's just average either. I think he's better than average.
No, he's not a top 5. He's in that 5 to 10.
Yeah. I'd probably have him closer to 10 than 5, but that's okay. But if you're a top 10 quarterback in the league, you can win. Like last year was evidence of that. The reality is that you don't have the running game you had last year. So there are more visible warts. And I think that the city is also concerned, Mike, because we've seen a version of this before where the team was winning games and then fell apart at the end of the year. And I think they're hurt by that, right? They're scarred by that. And they don't want that to happen again because 2023 sucked around here. Like that was the end of that season. There was no one in this city who thought going into that playoff game against Tampa Bay in 2023 that the Eagles were going to find a way to win that game. Like it was the funeral march, that game. Everyone knew going in that week leading up to it that that's what it was going to be. Fans don't want that version of the Eagles again. They don't want this to be an every other year thing with the Eagles. And I think that's why they're looking for something to complain about.
But look at what they are. Like, do we complain about their defense? We complain in a couple of areas of inconsistency. They haven't found that cornerback yet. But, against Green Bay, look what they did. They were impressive as hell. Oh, on offense, they still have personnel. It's not like they lack for personnel. Something's not coming together properly. They haven't found the elixir to get that offense rolling the way it should roll. But they're still, with all their awards, they're still better than anybody else in the NFL.
Yeah. But John Lucas Adams agrees with me. He says, I'm exactly right. The lack of a consistent running game is exposing the offense. Run sets up the pass, basic 101.
Okay. Then that's up to Kevin Patullo. Because if the running game is not working, for whatever reason that is, they're stacking a box, they're playing them differently, the offensive line has been banged up, Saquon's a step slower, whatever it is then up to Kevin Patullo. If they're trying to stop me from running, I've got to be sophisticated enough to get some offense going, even if it's dink and dunk, even if it's checkdowns, even if it's to the tight end in the middle of the field, even if it's going for a long ball with Devontae Smith. I've got to be able to do some things off of play action maybe.
Yes. I think that their offense, it's funny. Who was it earlier this year that called the offense boring? I forget who it was. Somebody. Drew Brees. Drew Brees called it boring, right? He said the Eagles offense is boring. He's right because it's predictable. And I think it's
who's the culprit? Who is it? Is it Patullo or is it Sirianni?
Well, I think it's both in the sense that last year I thought it was pretty predictable too. The difference was nobody could stop the run last year. So it didn't matter that it was predictable. You knew what the Eagles were going to do last year, and they still did it, and they ran right through you. So it didn't matter. This year, it's predictable, and teams have figured out how to stop the run for whatever reason. Obviously, some of it's injury-related on the offensive line, but teams have figured it out, and now the Eagles have not adapted to give them anything else. They're proving to be a little bit of a one-trick pony offensively. And that's what it is, unfortunately.
All right. So
they can still win. Obviously, they can still win that way.
Now
but it's not going to be easy.
The Lions on Sunday night. The Lions are second in the league in points. And my former colleague, Bill Colarulo, his favorite head coach, Dan Campbell, is now calling the shots. And they put 44 on the board last week against the Commanders. And they scored on each of their first 9 possessions. Eagles were great. Against defense, great defense against the Packers last week, but this is a different animal team they're playing. Short week. Can they rebound with the same defensive zeal that they did against the Packers?
I don't think it's going to be as dominant defensively because the Lions are a better offensive team all around than the Packers are. But the one thing I'd say is, the Eagles are 7-2 for a reason. And in my mind, the reason is Vic Fangio has done an excellent job with the defense. And I think that when you look at the way that this team plays, they come to play and they play. They put a lot of pressure on Jordan Love last week. Like you said, the one cornerback spot is like their one real weak spot. But other than that, the front 7 have been really good for them. And I think, you put pressure on Jared Goff. I think he's another one of those guys who looks worse when he's under pressure, like a lot worse than he is when he's under pressure. So I think they're going to find ways to get after the Lions. The Lions aren't going to put up 44 against the Eagles. That much is for sure. The question is, how much can the Eagles limit them to? And if so, whatever that number is, can the Eagles offense then put up enough to beat them? That's what the big question is going to be.
And here's the key to the game. Here's the key for the Eagles defense. The Lions use play action.
Yeah.
They used it 51.47% last week. The Eagles have had some challenges defending play action. They've given up the highest rate, second highest rate in the league against play action. Jahmyr Gibbs is on fire, 15 for 142 last week. That is a bad combination if they utilize play action well, and they got that guy firing.
Yes, because the Eagles front seven is an aggressive front seven, and so if they are utilizing play action, the idea is that you're probably hoping to catch them being a little over aggressive, and you might be able to find some spots to beat them within the short passing game over the middle. Little quick slants, out routes, guys in the flat, a little, be creative with that offense. And the Lions can do that to you. I don't know. There's something about this matchup that I like for the Eagles, Mike. I really do. Yeah.
Yeah. What's the line on the game for right now?
The Eagles are the Eagles are 2.5 point favorite.
Eagles are 2.5 point favorites.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I know. It needs to be higher than 3. Otherwise, it's showing
it's a Lions line. It's a Lions line.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the quarterback. They got good pressure last week on Jordan Love. Really did.
Yes.
Goff is really good under pressure. He was pressured on 42.4% of his dropbacks last week. He was 9 for 14 for 107 yards when pressured. Did not take a stack. Gets the ball out quick. I don't like this matchup for the Eagles.
Yeah, see and I know that last week those numbers are what they are, Mike, but you're throwing against the Commanders' defense versus throwing against the Eagles' defense. And so I think when you pressure a quarterback, a lot of that has to do the quarterback's success or lack thereof against the defense under pressure has a lot to do with how in sync the front seven is with the secondary. And I think that this Eagles team, for the most part, is good in coverage. Other than, like you said, the second cornerback is an issue. But the slot, there's nobody better in the game right now in the slot than Cooper DeJean. He's fantastic there. We know how good Quinyon is. The safeties have done a nice job. And then even the linebackers covering backs or tight ends out of the backfield, Bond does a great job of that. I think it's a really good combination. So as long as they're getting pressure on Goff, I don't think he has the same success against the Eagles throwing the ball under pressure. But the key is getting pressure on him. If you don't get pressure on him, then he's going to pick you apart.
Okay. Seems to be pretty good against pressure. All right. Now, speaking of the Lions, we got a couple of cuts here. You know how tough it's going to be to play here in Philadelphia. Dan Campbell, of course, a former pretty good tight end in the league, a toughian with the Giants, especially remember him. Here's what Dan Campbell had to say about playing. This is courtesy of 97.1 The Ticket. Courtesy of that, and this is how he feels about playing in Philadelphia.
Place to play. I mean, it's electric. It's had batteries thrown at us, spit on. It's just the classic stuff, man. It's probably the most hostile place to play. And then going into the stadium, leaving it during the game. Things have backed off a lot now since. Back in the day, like some of these things you can't do anymore, but, I remember Strahan in 99, maybe it was 99 or 2000. Anyway, I think it was 99. Strahan, I think we were in overtime. Anyway, he took I think it was a fumble recovery all the way back to the house. We won the game because of that. So we all go back there to meet him, and I just see this. It was like a 64-ounce cup this guy had that was full of tobacco spit. And I'm running over there celebrating. He just pours it on Strahan's back while everybody's running over there. I backed off at the last minute.
Yeah, good call.
But, just stuff like that. So it's a hostile environment. I mean, it gets you fired up. And I'll make sure our guys are prepared. They're going to love this. They really are. Our guys are going to freaking embrace this. This is fun stuff now.
All right, a couple comments. First of all, nobody deserved it more than Strahan to get tobacco goo on him. Second of all, don't embellish the story. 64-ounce cup, come on, of tobacco. That's like a giant Slurpee thing. Nobody in their right mind is going to be able to spit out 64 ounces of tobacco. Come on, Ant.
And then Jace Foreman says Dan Campbell has never had a battery thrown at him.
Yeah, this whole thing about batteries. I've never seen a battery thrown down there. I mean, I know what happened with JD Drew.
JD Drew,
This
that's
whole
it.
battery thing. That battery thing doesn't happen anymore.
I don't think it ever did, other than that one time with JD Drew. I mean, in all honesty, I can't think of another time.
Exactly.
That it did.
This notion of Philadelphia, they throw batteries at you for crying. Come on, man. No. All right, let's hear what Jared Goff had to say about the mean fans here in Philadelphia.
Known for being the meanest fans, and I'll have to have some thick skin when I'm in there, so none of their insults can really get to me. That'll be part of my mindset. But no, it'll be fun. They'll be loud. It'll be rocking. I know they're passionate, and I can't wait. Yeah, man, we're excited. It's one, obviously against Super Bowl champ last year. It's one kind of everyone has circled on their calendar. When the year comes out, you get a shot at the team who won it last year in their place, Sunday Night Football, the whole thing. It'll be great, and our guys will be ready to go.
All right.
Thick skin, Mike. It's got to have thick skin so we don't hear the
Lincoln
insults.
Financial crowd is not nearly as crazy as the crowds that used to be.
At the Vet. No, it
really isn't.
It's a
just
country
the nature
club.
of the stadium. The stadium is so weird.
It's a country
so
club.
Spread out and it's sparse with all these lounges and stuff. It's just, it's not total concentration on the football field.
Correct.
Very strange stadium. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we'll talk about the Phils in the winter meetings. We got Flyers Twitter going crazy over Coots. No, say it ain't so. Over Coots. And Beats injury. College football playoffs as they stand right now. Mock draft with player rankings going into next year, and the vaunted picks of the week. Anthony, you going to get one this week?
Well, I'm 1-1, so that's I already got one.
You had a good one last week. Carolina Panthers came up big for you.
Yeah, they were terrible at home last week.
All right, that's all ahead right here on Pattison Podcast with Mike Missinelli and Aunt Sam. Back after this.
Your day-to-day life is hectic between having to pick up the kids, make dinner, the countless other tasks that you got to get done. Rob's Automotive and Collision is there to make your life a whole lot easier. Make sure you take advantage of their spacious waiting rooms, the large flat-screen TVs, complimentary coffee and muffins, and free Wi-Fi. So even when you do have to stop, Rob's is there to make you feel right at home. Give Rob's a call today at 215-826-9200 for any of your auto repair needs.
This is Tommy Green from the 1993 National League champion Phillies. Every champion needs a good game plan. BCWSA and I want to make sure you have a game plan when it comes to conserving our most precious resource, water. Whether you're washing dishes, brushing your teeth, or watering your garden, there are ways you can save water and save money. Visit bcwsa.net for tips on conserving water. BCWSA, proven.
A flawless occasion begins at the Capitol Grill. From the moment you step into the Capitol Grill, located in the heart of Center City, the experience is one of comfortable elegance. Whether you're looking to host a private affair, a perfect lunch stop, or dinner destination, start your occasion at the Capitol Grill today. Visit thecapitolgrill.com or call 215-545-9588. That's 215-545-9588 for the Capitol Grill, Center City.
All right, here we are back again. It is the On Pattison Podcast with Mike Missinelli and Sam Filippo. We haven't talked Phils yet in the winter meetings, but they were in a little bit of a winter meeting situation over the last couple of days. Let's start off with Harrison Bader's tweet, Ant, which you thought was not conclusatory.
Yeah,
conclusionary.
The Instagram post. He did like this little. The timing of it was interesting because he's a guy who doesn't like post regularly on Instagram, right? So he only posts every few weeks or so. And so he puts that one up a couple days ago, and you look at it and like, well, why now? What's the timing of this? Why is it now? Why did he not do this when the season ended and say, hey, Philly, 2.5 months was a great ride. Really loved it there. You guys are amazing, whatever the hell it said. What's the timing of it? Is he putting it out now as a goodbye because he knows he's not coming back to the Phillies? Or, and this is what I think is more of this, is it a situation where he realizes he really enjoyed it here? He liked being in this clubhouse. He wants to come back, but he's not 100% sure the Phillies are willing to make the financial commitment that he needs for him to come back. So put it out there, get some support from the fans, rally behind him, and maybe the Phillies respond to that.
Slick. It was slick of him.
Yes, I think it
So
was.
most people, I'm watching all the news channel. Harrison Bader says goodbye to Philadelphia with a heart-wrenching message. Right? Look at him. You know what I call him? I don't know if you're a Seinfeld fan at all.
Yeah.
Fancy boy, I call him. Yeah, Silvio, the janitor. Jerry's a real fancy boy.
He's a fancy boy.
And that's what he is. Everything about him is like I kind of like him as a player. I think that if you commit to him, it would be the worst thing you could possibly do because he's a mediocre player who always resorts back to mediocrity. So, like to get conned into thinking that he was this really good player for you, I think that's a real temporary thing.
Yeah, the one thing I liked about him, and you're right. I mean, he had a career year if you combine what he did with Minnesota and the Phillies. And so obviously he wants to cash in on that. But if you look back at the back of his baseball card, the previous years before that, you'll see that he was not nearly as good of an offensive player as he was a season ago. The one redeeming quality or two redeeming qualities that he has. One is he showed that he could still play center field and play it well defensively, which is something that the Phillies kind of lack. So like that's a positive. He's saying, okay, maybe we even take a step back offensively if he gives us that. The one thing I liked about him was he plays the game with a little bit of an edge. And there's not enough guys in that clubhouse that play with that kind of edge. And so like I like that. But I think I felt like it was missing at the beginning of the
for very peculiar physical specimen. His torso is like this big, right? This big. And his legs are like there.
Yeah.
And then he's got a head of hair that like makes his torso look even smaller. Like very odd looking fellow.
When he first walked out onto the field, I turned and I looked at a guy next to me who would remember this era, and I said, "Oh, he would have been on Macho Row."
Yeah, he had a little Incaviglia look about him.
Yes, very much so.
All right, so anyway, listen, I understand people saying you got to have him back. What's your outfield look like without him? And I agree. I don't know what the outfield looks like if he doesn't resign. You got one guy, Marsh. And then you're looking for a left fielder and a right fielder. So I get it. Maybe they will bring it back at a different price. 15 mil, get it here? He wants 15 mil?
I think he wants more than that, Mike, to be honest with you. Per year. No, per year. I mean,
that's $20 million a year. You can't pay
No. I'm sorry. I thought you were saying 15 million was the total.
No, 15 mil a year.
Yeah, maybe a little less. I think you could probably get him probably in the 13 to 14 per year for 2 years. I think he wants 3 years, and I think that's the thing that he's kind of angling for. I wouldn't go 3 years if I were the Phillies, but if he said I'll come back for 2 years, 25, 2 years, 26, I would do it. I would do it for 2 years.
All right. Other news: Arenado for Castellanos. We already talked about it. I don't know how that helps the Phillies, frankly. So, just if you want to get rid of Castellanos' contract, maybe make that deal. But Bryce and Dombrowski apparently have talked again, and apparently they have straightened it out. Anthony, as a man who covers the Phillies, what do you know about that situation?
Yeah, I mean, it happened too late, Mike. In all honesty, that conversation should have happened far sooner. And I don't know what was said. I didn't have it. I mean, I wasn't out in Las Vegas, so I didn't have a chance to talk to Dombrowski. So we don't know exactly what was said in the conversation, but it was a long talk apparently. And it sounds like everybody's on the same page again, and and Bryce's feathers are no longer ruffled. But yeah,
I think these guys in their ruffled feathers.
The Phillies,
$30+ million a year can't even not ruffle your feathers.
I know it's a generational thing. I get it, but they should have had that conversation with him right away. Like we talked about it, right? Oh, everybody in the media wrote about it. We all, what did Dombrowski say about Harper? Oh my God, he should have called Harper right away. And the fact that he went on to the one podcast and said, like it was several days later, it's like, oh, I blew up. It's not what I meant at all. But he hadn't talked to Harper yet. That's where the mistake was. He should have talked to him before that.
All right. Poor Bryce. He's loved. Don't worry about Bryce. You're loved.
Yeah.
I'm going to get you some new Fanatic gear to wear. All right,
Or
Anthony.
what about his Mike? I just was curious if you thought about this. Do you remember at the end of the year where he had the rivalry cleats, where he was wearing the colors of the opposing team?
Yeah, he wore the colors of the Mets. Yeah,
Mets. He did it for the Braves as
Yeah.
well. Yeah, like, what are you doing, dude?
he works too hard at that stuff.
Yes.
He just does.
Yes.
Just go out and play baseball. I don't even like the bandana with the hat.
Yeah.
The hat doesn't fit right with the bandana. You know, like, you don't need a bandana. You get short hair.
Yeah.
All right.
I hear you.
All right, let's move on. This is a topic right in your wheelhouse. Flyer Twitter going nuts over the Couturier comments on Michkov. He said he emphasized the need for the young player to contribute to the team way beyond just scoring goals, such as playing responsibly without the puck. Find a way to contribute to help the team win in other ways when you're struggling. Don't cheat as much. Be on the right side of pucks. He needs to stick to playing more the right way. And I think it's going to be better for the team overall. Well, those are mean fight words, Anthony. What do you make of them?
I don't make anything of them, Mike, and I don't want to go on a rant because I did it already a couple times this week in other places. You can find them on social media. I'm out there. But here's the reality of it. I was in the locker room. I was standing there talking to Couturier when that happened. And what most fans don't know, and this is the problem with what happens when they release these videos like this, is you don't have the full context of the conversation. So what happened was that it started with Michkov. We actually went and talked to Michkov first. And the cameras left, and Michkov then talked about being, feeling heavy on the ice, that he was putting too much pressure on himself. He lost concentration, was doing things that he wasn't supposed to do. Like, this was the most open and honest that Michkov has ever been with us. And we're like, okay, we got to ask somebody else about this. Oh, there's Sean Couturier, the captain of the team, who happens to be on his line. And the question that was asked, which is not in the video, was, what do you say to a guy to keep his head in the game so that he's not, getting lost on the ice, that he's not lacking concentration? What do you say to that guy? So Couturier's answer is answering that question. It's like, well, this is what we've been telling him. And it was a perfectly legitimate answer. There was no problem between it about it. But here's the issue. Fans online start going crazy. And they start doing their internet sleuthing, and they're starting to piece together their Zapruder filming like an offsides in overtime to say that Sean Couturier is pissed off at Michkov. And then he makes these comments, and, they're trying to ruin this young superstar player, and how dare he? He's a relic from an old era. Get rid of him. And they start going crazy. And then it's picked up by people who do what we do, and they're talking about it, and it becomes viral. And it's stupid. It's not real. I walked into the locker room the other day, Mike, and I'm waiting for Couturier to come to his locker, and he looks at me. He goes, "So, do you want to ask me questions, or do the people who never come in here want to ask me questions?" Like he knew right away. Like it's silliness. He was paying the guy a compliment and saying answering the question as it was asked. He was not criticizing.
Yeah, well, he's pretty much a class act too. But
yes, 100%.
When the comments come out, like I just read them on like AI, they do seem to want to sting. And let's face it, there are some players that are favorite sons here. How about Michkov being a favorite son? You can't criticize the great Mich. He's the future, right?
Right. I mean, look, it's okay to point out what Michkov is doing wrong. He's doing a lot right. He's scored goals in 3 straight games now. He's kind of turned it around. He's figuring it out, which is good. But he still makes mistakes that are mistakes of youth, that are he's 20 years old, and he's going to make mistakes. It's okay to talk about them. It's okay to identify them. Yeah. You're not criticizing him. You're just pointing out, hey, this is what he needs to do better.
Flyer Twitter. Those Flyer fans are very sensitive lot, Anthony.
Oh, it's not like the old days, Mike, where they were just the Stepfords. Remember the Stepfords? The Stepfords were the.
I hated the Stepfords.
You did. They were better as Stepfords than what they are now. I prefer the Stepfords than.
What's the difference between the Stepford of years past and what they are now?
The Stepfords in years past, the Flyers could do no wrong.
They took everything.
They didn't matter, right? They could do no wrong. The Flyers are awesome. They're 100%.
Now they complain. They actually complain.
Oh, it's nonstop. It's nonsense. I mean, the team's in a
That
playoff
might stop
spot.
that. How about getting into playoffs? That might stop.
That's the thing. They're sitting in a playoff spot right now. I know it's early, but they're sitting in a playoff spot right now, and all fans are doing is bitching, like about the team, and they're not going to be good
I like
or whatever.
what you're doing with the Eagles. I
It's
get
like,
it.
come on,
All right,
man, relax.
We got a couple of comments on here. It says, I think you guys will kill this idea.
Yeah,
I can tell you I'm going to kill it right away. What if the Eagles brought in Brian Dable as an offensive consultant? Sure, the Giants fired him, but he knows RPO and he's familiar with Barkley and Hurts in Alabama. Familiar with Barkley in Alabama? Where is he familiar with Barkley in Alabama? Oh, he's familiar with Barkley and Hurts in Alabama to help out the OC. Come on, man. I need Brian Dable to come in here to get some things going.
How did that work?
Has been around this offense for the last 3-4 years.
How did that work when they brought in the defensive consultant a couple years ago?
No,
Matt
it didn't work out. Matt Patricia?
Yeah, that didn't work out, right? So no.
Did not work out. All right, here's another one. Dario Mungus. Love you, Mike, and miss you on the radio. But look, AJ is not a problem. Patullo is. AJ is a problem.
Yeah.
He's not the problem that maybe you're thinking he is, that I'm saying. He is a problem in that he is talking when the Eagles are winning. If you are talking when the Eagles are losing, then you make a better point. When they're winning and you talk, you just look like a selfish diva. That's all I'm saying. All right.
The Eagles could fix it, Mike. They've let this go on.
Let's take one more break. When we come back, I want to know. I want to discuss a little subject that I know you're near and dear to the fanfare over the Eagles. The Sixers bringing back their black jerseys with the sparkles and bringing back hip hop. Anthony's got some stuff to say about that after this.
Hi, it's Pete from Chicky and Pete's. Warm up this fall with an incredible seafood boil. Try the Uncle George with succulent snow crabs, tasty mussels, and shrimp. There's the Pete's Feast with 2 pounds of sweet succulent crab legs, a dozen shrimp, clams, and a pound of mussels. Or create your own boil. Add a lobster tail or a delicious Dungeness cluster. Include smoked sausage, corn, and potatoes, served in our tasty broth, made with white wine and our signature seasonings. A shellfish lover's dream at Chickies and Pete's.
Think banking hasn't changed? Think again. At Penn Community Bank, we've been helping communities thrive for 150 years. From our nationally recognized Access Checking that offers the peace of mind of no overdrafts, to student and free checking plus options with perks that will make you wonder what you did without them, like early direct deposit, overdraft grace, and Zelle. Learn more at penncommunitybank.com/products. Penn Community Bank. Here we grow. Account and feature terms, restrictions, and conditions apply. Ask for full details. Member FDIC.
Ventresca Limited, the Delaware Valley men's store, is located in historic Doylestown. For casual clothing in denim to business suits and tuxedos, Ventresca Limited has a large selection you have to see to believe. The experienced and knowledgeable sales staff can show you the many brand labels that have made Ventresca Limited in Doylestown a must for men concerned about their image. Select from Canali, Brax Jeans, Hickey Freeman, Johnson Murphy Footwear, and much more. Custom alterations are free. Visit Ventresca Limited on the web at ventresca.com.
Alrighty, back on the On Pattison podcast with Mike Missinelli, Anthony Sanfilippo with me as well. The Sixers went a little retro over the week, and they made a big fuss over bringing back that jersey that defined the era prior to AI and going into the NBA Finals with the swoosh and the star and the black jersey with the gold lettering. And they even brought back hip hop. And Anthony, I know you were really excited about that.
Mike, I don't know. It's not that I hate it, because there are other things, other jerseys, other throwback things that I don't like in sports. I just didn't think it was all that great of an era of uniform. Like the uniform, it was a great era of basketball, right? But the uniform itself is kind of blah. I just didn't think it was great.
Yeah, let's check it out. There it is. Yeah. Black. You got the swoosh with the basketball, the star.
I didn't like the swoosh.
Now, on that guy, it looks good.
Yeah. I mean, that's the iconic Iverson jersey. But
yeah,
the Sixers,
looks
so here's
good.
my thing. Here's the thing, Mike. when every other team has gone to a throwback, right? They've kind of gone back to a throwback that is their team colors. So the Eagles, Kelly green, that's their color, and everybody loves it. And the Kelly green jersey is incredibly sharp. The Phillies, when they go with their powder blues, it's still blue and red, and it's like the team colors. Black is not a team color. Black was something that every team in sports did in the early, or like in the late mid 90s, I guess it was. And then into the beginning of the 2000s, and it was like, all right, black, everybody's black.
Yeah.
And then everybody did it, and it was like, all right, then we got past the black phase, and then we went back to colors again, which we should have done. And I just never thought it was a great color. Like, it was just like, eh.
Yeah. No, listen, I agree with you. And there's no reason to bring back hip hop either. I like the jersey.
He's the worst.
I like that Spectrum Edition jersey where they had
the best one. The Spectrum Edition
jersey.
Best one.
It's the special uniform. Sixers, block letters, white with the red piping, blue jersey. Yep. That's a great uniform.
Yeah, I agree. That's the best. That's the best. They did the City Connect or whatever they call it. I don't know what they call it. Yeah.
Tim Kelly, 5440.
Yeah.
Here comes old man Anthony raining on our parade.
Tim Kelly. It's because Tim Kelly is crying in his water that the Uniwatch. You know that site that used to be out on ESPN, Uniwatch. It went under finally after like 20 some years, and he used to go on there all the time. And so like that's Tim Kelly's thing.
E.G. Butler says you sound a little stuffy. That's all right. I agree with you.
I'm allowed to sound stuffy. I'm over 50 now. You're allowed to sound stuffy.
We're jiggy. Pat's not coming back.
Yeah.
Pat's in the state of Zen right now.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Time to move into some picks of the week with some college football news, though. The college football playoffs, as they stand right now, I thought I would educate some people here because it'll lead into one of my picks.
Okay.
8-9 right now. Oregon at ND. The winner plays Ohio State, the number 1 seed. 5, Georgia. 12, South Florida for right now. The winner at 4, Alabama. Mississippi. Ole Miss is 7. Texas is 10. They're in the playoffs right now, and I'm picking against them this week. They have Indiana waiting for them for the winner there. And then
how about the catch by that kid though at the end of the Penn State game for Indiana?
I blocked it out. Was there a catch?
It was incredible.
Was there a catch? That game was a superior catch. I blocked it out. Number 6, Texas Tech, and number 11, Miami. The winner plays Texas A&M. They are your college football playoffs right now. And I just happened to see an NFL mock draft for next year. I always look at these mock drafts to see how many quarterbacks are in the first couple of picks. How many do you think this year quarterbacks would be in the top 10 picks, Anthony?
3?
There are only, let's see, are there 3? Let's go down the list. The top ranked player for next year's draft is linebacker Arvell Reese from Ohio State.
Okay.
Number 2, the quarterback, Ty Gibson from Alabama.
Yeah.
Number 3, Caleb Downs, a safety from Ohio State. People tell me, why can't Penn State beat Ohio State? They're a good recruiter. Yeah. There's the 3 of the first 3 players. 2 of the first 3 players from Ohio State are drafted. That's why they can't beat them. Number 4, Keldrick Falk, edge rusher from Auburn. Number 5, Jeremiah Love, the running back from Notre Dame. Number 6, Reuben Bain Jr., edge rusher from Miami. Number 7, quarterback Fernando Mendoza from Indiana. Number 8, Jordan Tyson, the wide receiver from Arizona State. Number 9, cornerback Jermad McCoy from Tennessee. And the wide receiver from Ohio State, Carnell Tate, is 10th. The next quarterback on the board is Dante Moore of Oregon, selected ranked 12th of that class.
Okay. That was like he was the third one. Like that's why I was guessing 3. I thought that he might be in the top 10. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense to me. There's
going to be a quarterback that slips up there. This is the draft of the quarterbacks now, man. They found some gems in the first round.
Yeah, I mean, and those 3 guys, I mean, you know, they should all be decent NFL quarterbacks. They all look good. Like I like what I see out of all 3 of them. at the college level. It's not like some of the guys who you watch in the past and everybody talks about, and you're watching again. Really, you think that translates to the NFL? I don't. These guys, I think all three of them translate to the NFL, and all three translate well.
All right, it's time for now. The fearless picks of the week.
Yeah, yes.
Since we're staying with college and getting a little at the pro. Anthony, you have a pick this week? I'm going to put 5 out there.
5. Okay. Well, that's good. So you were 8. So the first week you went 3 and 5. How'd you do last week?
I was 2 and 2.
2 and 2 last week? Okay. All right.
2 and 2 last
I lost my 1 pick last week. But I'll give you my 1 pick. And before you give your 5, I'll give you my 1.
What's your 1 pick?
My 1 pick this week. I'm going with the Denver Broncos at home, a home dog against the Kansas City Chiefs. They're getting 3.5. I don't understand this line a little bit, Mike. I think it's a line that is being set because everybody just bets the Chiefs because they're the Chiefs. And I think that you look at it and you're like, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And I know a lot of people are down on the Broncos and their start. I know that they haven't beaten a lot of really good teams, although they beat the Eagles. I like Bo Nix. I think the Broncos they have a decent defense, and I think the Chiefs are way overrated. Not only do I think the Broncos covered as 3.5, Mike. They're going to win it outright.
Outright. He said outright. An outright winner with the Denver Broncos. That's big stuff right there. All right, here are my selections of the week. I just mentioned Oregon. They're in that spot where they're in the 8-9 game. They need to impress the people. They need to score a little bit. Oregon is going from minus 22.5 to minus 25.5 versus Minnesota. They need to put up a big number. They need to win this game like 48-13. So I'm going to take. I'm going to lay the wood with Oregon to crush Minnesota minus 25.5. Next, Oklahoma at Alabama. Oklahoma was once a 14-point underdog here. They have since moved up to only a +6 at Alabama. Wow. Oklahoma may upset them. I'm going to take the Sooners with the 6 at Alabama.
Follow that sharp money. Follow that sharp money.
Follow the sharp money. Now, here's another one. Texas is already in the playoffs. They're playing Georgia. Georgia, much better team. Georgia went from 2.5 favorite to -6 favored. I'm going to ride the dogs in this game with the 6. And let's go to pro. The Patriots. The line started at 5.5 against the Jets. It's now up to 12.5. I can't ignore that. I got to go Patriots in a romp over those Jets who have won 2 straight and last week spilled their bucket and winning that game. They'll have nothing left against the Patriots. Patriots smack them around. And then finally, I'll go with another line move. The Texans winning by the skin of their chinny chin last week. -2.5 to -6.5 at the Titans. So I'll take the Texans to -6.5 at those lousy Titans. They are my selections for this week.
I like them, Mike.
I like them every week.
Well, I don't bet, so it doesn't. So that's why I like them.
You like them every week.
If I was betting, I'd probably come on here and be pretty miserable.
Yeah, I need a 5-0 week, to be honest with you. All right, last question I have for you today. What are the Northern Lights? Can somebody explain to me what the Northern Lights are? They made a big fuss. Oh, go look outside. They got the Northern Lights. I don't even know what they are. I know
Aurora Borealis.
What is it? What is the Aurora Borealis?
It's just I don't even know how to describe it because I'm not into astronomy really or weather even for that matter. But I was in Canada once when they were visible, and what you see is it's at night. You see these streaking bright lights across the sky.
But what are they?
I don't know how else to describe it, Mike. That's what it is.
I know they're bright lights, but what are they? Are they particles of the atmosphere that the sun lights up? Like, what are they?
I don't know.
See, everybody say that. Northern Lights. Nobody knows what they are.
Did you see them? Did you catch them?
No, I didn't see them. And where are the Southern Lights? Why is that got to be the North?
It's not. Never in the South. It's never.
All right, we're all giddy and silly. That should end the podcast for today. So thanks everybody for watching and listening and commenting. We had a lot of comments today. We really appreciate that. Come on, Mike, you've never heard of it before? You've heard of it before. What do I hear about it? I heard about the Northern Lights. I just don't know what they are.
And well, Jay Sporman says that's what ChatGPT is made for.
Well, all right. Well, I'll tell you what. ChatGPT me next week and tell me what the Northern Lights are.
There
all right.
you go.
For Anthony Sanfilippo, for producer Matt Miro, thanks everybody for watching the show on Pattison with Mike Missanelli with Anthony Sanfilippo. We'll be right at you, same time, same channel next week. Have a great rest of the night, everybody. Talk to you later. Bye bye.